We are witnessing history. Something good is happening in the Middle East. Israeli delegation to the UAE just came back from Abu Dhabi, and this is a great opportunity to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay connected and never miss historic events. Click subscribe and bring peace. This week, I was amazed to witness the visit of the Israeli delegation to the capital of the UAE, Abu Dhabi. It's a beautiful place, the UAE is a beautiful country, and I can't wait to visit there. In the next few months, there will be direct flights from Tel Aviv to the UAE. Such a flight will take only 3 hours, and that is thanks to Saudi Arabia that allows Israeli flights to the UAE to pass its kingdom's airspace. And that's despite having any diplomatic ties with Israel. That is historic. I hope to see a peace agreement between Israel and Saudi Arabia. It will most certainly bless Saudi Arabia and Israel. During the visit of the Israeli delegation, flags of Israel were proudly waved in the Arab capital, in Abu Dhabi. Who would have thought that this could be possible? The Emirates welcomed the Israelis in such a beautiful way. The delegation signed a finance agreement between the banks of the two countries, which will bless the economy of both countries. When this quick visit came to an end, the Emirates waved in peace to say goodbye to the Israeli delegation, which was absolutely touching. We in Israel were deeply touched to watch the warm hospitality of the Emirates towards the Israeli delegation, and Prime Minister Netanyahu invited an Emirati delegation to visit Israel too. I will say this again. We are witnessing history. Arabs welcoming Jews, flying our flag in an Arab country. This is no longer a dream, but a reality. If in the past, Arabs and Israelis viewed each other as enemies, today Arabs and Israelis view each other as partners in peace. It made me laugh when I saw Iran's supreme leader Khamenei condemning this peace agreement by saying that it is a betrayal in the Islamic world. I'm not sure if he was joking or not. I think he was dead serious. He who willingly slaughters Muslims all across the Middle East for simply opposing his cruel regime, shedding Muslim blood, he wants to lecture the UAE on how to be loyal to the Muslim values? If anything, he's the one that should be lectured and learn from the UAE on tolerance and peace. Because under his leadership, the Islamic regime in Iran brought nothing good to the region. Nothing but destruction. Even Iranian people are saying this and protesting against Khamenei. It's interesting to see how Iran's regime and the Palestinian leaders are basically saying the same propaganda against this peace agreement. It's not surprising considering the fact that Iran sponsors Palestinian terrorism in Gaza. The Palestinian Authority plans to meet this week to discuss how to foil the peace agreement between Israel and the UAE. Yes, I'm serious. There are leaders in the region who are not happy about this peace agreement at all because they are benefiting from the conflict. Why? Because peace in the region will put an end to their corruption. Palestinian leaders, for example, are getting millions upon millions of dollars that are supposed to help the Palestinian people, but instead of investing this money in the people, they take it into their own pockets and barely help the Palestinian people with it. Ending the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will also end their source of income because it means ending their victim card. Now, I'm in touch with some Palestinian people whom I deeply cherish, and some of them are telling me that they are scared to say that they want peace with Israel in public and to publicly say that they think Israel also wants peace with them because they are telling me that such words will get them arrested by Palestinian police. So how can Palestinian leaders say that peace agreements between Israel and the Arab world will not bring peace? I mean, it's literally practicing peace. They are saying one thing to the media and do the complete opposite by forbidding their own people to reach out for peace. Hamas leadership in Gaza even arrested a Palestinian peace activist, Rami Amman, who organized a Zoom meeting with Israeli peace activists to discuss peace. He is in prison for over 120 days. Why no one is talking about him and demanding his release? Human rights organizations would rather seek to condemn Israel than to condemn Hamas for exploiting their children or to condemn the Palestinian Authority for paying terrorists and their families. This bias is dirty and disgusting. Peace is going to make this world a better place. Israel and the UAE are already collaborating on COVID-19 research. It would be truly symbolic if a solution to coronavirus would come from this peace agreement. Let me know in the comments, do you think that more countries in the Middle East will make peace with Israel? I'm curious to hear from you. See you next week.